In this session, I'm going to talk about functions. So, under functions, I'm going to talk about what is a function, what is a domain, what is a range, vertical line test, and horizontal line test. What is a function? A function is a special kind of relation that exists between numbers or variables with the following rule. For every valid input number, there is a single output. In other words, for every x, there is only one y value. Look at this example. Y equal x squared is a function since only one y value for every value of x. Look at that. So it means if you put that 1 for x, the y is going to be 1. If you put x, substitute 2 for x, y would be 4, because 2 to the power 2 is 4. For if you substitute 3 for x, y is going to be 9. If you put x 4 for x, and y is 16, right? And look at the other way. So if you see like this, y squared equal x. So if you substitute 1 for x, so y squared is 1, and then you need to find the y value. So you have to get the square root of both sides. So the square root of y squared is y, and then you get the square root of 1, and then it means that you get two values for y. So plus or minus 1. So for 1x value, you have two y values. So that case, this is not a function. This is not a function. Y squared equal x is not a function, but y equal x squared is a function, because you have only one y value for x, right? What is the domain? So the domain, so like this. So the domain is all possible input numbers called independent variable. So that's called domain. So in this function y equals x squared, you can substitute any real number for x. So therefore, so you can use any real numbers for x. So domain is all real numbers for x. Now, for example, you can use here. So value the set called a, we can substitute -5, -4, -3, -2, so on, right? The range. The range is the set of all possible output numbers called dependent variables. So for all values of y. So look at this. If you substitute -5 in here, y is going to be 25. And then if you substitute -4 in here, and then 16. If you substitute -3 in here, 9. -2 in here, 4. So that is range. If I say the set of range we call say R, and then we have that all possible numbers 4, 9, 16, 25. This is the range. And then next one is vertical line test. So vertical line test. And then what is the vertical line test? Vertical line test is a quick way to determine whether the relation is a function or not. Look at this. This is the graph we have, and then if I draw a vertical line on top of this graph, and then we have two y values for the given x. So that case, and then this is not a function. See, if I draw like this function, if I draw a line, vertical line, you can determine that we have only one y value for the given x. So this is a function. Look at this. This is a circle. I draw a vertical line. There are two y values for given x. So this is not a function. And then look at this one. Draw a line. There is only one y value for the given x. Yes, this is a function, right? Okay, finally, I want to talk about horizontal line. So what is the horizontal line test? So horizontal line test is to determine that the function has inverse function. We have to show that the function is one-to-one, and then and I'm going to show you that how to check that function has a one-to-one relationship or not. And so it should pass that horizontal line test. If the horizontal line touches more than once, and it means that that function doesn't have one-to-one relationship, and then that inverse function also not a function. Okay, so let me show you. And then this is a parabolic function, and then if I draw a horizontal line, it touches more than once, two places, so it doesn't have that one-to-one relationship. So if I draw that the inverse function of this is like this, and then that function also not a function y, if I draw a vertical line, that we have two y values for given x. So therefore this one doesn't have a one-to-one relationship, therefore this is doesn't have an inverse function. Inverse function also not a function. Look at this. In this circle, if I draw a horizontal line and it touches more than once, and it means that it doesn't have that inverse function, also not a function. It doesn't have a one-to-one relationship. But look at this linear function. If I draw a horizontal line, it touches only one time and it has one-to-one relationship. It means that it has an inverse function, and that inverse function also a function. I hope that you understood this lesson very well, and we can start from the next one. Thank you.